Hello world, Shelly here, and today it's time for your Friday foundation fix, where you can get your fix of foundation reviews in between foundation fests. And I know we just wrapped up a foundation fest, but I promised you at the end of that one that the next foundation I reviewed would be drugstore, because we rolled kind of heavy on the high-end foundations in that foundation fest. So today I'm going to check out the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. And I'm excited about this one. Catrice is a brand that I have wanted to try more products from. So I'm on Ulta's website now. I'm going to take a look at some of the claims. This product retails for $10.99, so we're definitely in the drugstore price range. It's only online right now at Ulta. I don't believe you can get it in the stores, but it is online. It comes in a total of 4 shades. Yeah. But you do get 1.05 fluid ounces of product, which is a smidgen more than typical. 1 ounce is normal. So in terms of reviews, right now it's got 32 reviews. It's getting 4.3 out of 5 stars, which is pretty good, but a pretty small sample size there as a pretty new product. Now, there's more information on this bottle than there is on the website. So let me tell you what's on the website. High def coverage. Catrice's HD Liquid Foundation is an ultra lightweight, high coverage foundation for a natural looking finish. It covers imperfections and mattifies the skin, creating a smooth and even complexion for up to 24 hours. So from that, I'm taking high coverage, long wear. Features a unique dropper applicator, paraben-free, not tested on animals. Now, if we switch to the bottle, its lightweight and non-oily texture feels like a second skin, provides long-lasting full coverage without a mask effect, and creates an even complexion, with high-definition finish for camera-ready skin, dermatologically tested, and shake before use. So that's all the information we have to go on here. With only 4 shades, I got this in the second lightest shade, 020 Rose Beige, because the light beige looked like a very yellow undertone, which I just cannot stand myself in a yellow undertone. Makes me look like I'm having liver failure. This was sort of pink undertone, it appeared, and, you know, just looking through the bottle, it might be a smidge too dark for me, but I think, well, we're just going to try this. I hope I can pull this off. So that is the plan. Let's take a look at this Catrice foundation swatched against some of the other foundations I've got on the light end of the spectrum in this price range. Swatch time. First up is today's foundation, the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage in the second shade 020 Rose Beige. Second is the LA Girl Pro Coverage, and this is in the shade Porcelain. Ha ha ha, porcelain. Third up, Wet n Wild Photo Focus in Rose Ivory. Fourth is the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir, and this is in shade 710. Fifth up, I've got the Milani in the new lightest 00A shade. And the last swatch is L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow in shade 101. So I have already cleansed, moisturized, sunscreened my face, and I primed with the Urban Decay Urban Defense Primer, my usual. Stay tuned, I just picked up from e.l.f. the Beauty Shield 50 SPF Primer, which I plan to do a half and half face test against this guy right here. Would be sweet if I could get a nice SPF primer that was a little less expensive. I'll be going in on one side of my face with a brush. This is a Crown paddle brush. I had gotten this in a BoxyCharm and I love it. On the other side, I will use a sponge. This is my L'Oreal Infallible sponge. I really like this sponge. It's really easy to hold because it's got this sort of contour going on, but it still has the nice point, and it's got a nice big, I feel weird saying this, but a nice bulbous butt that like gives you a lot of good real estate when you are pouncing on the skin. So we'll see if there is a preference one way or another. So let's take a look at this unique applicator they're talking about here. Oh, I see what's going on. I get it. I get it. I'm just going to put a little out on the palette here. That was 1 squeeze. Let's go 2 squeezes. That's maybe a little too much, but a little bit liquidy. Not too bad. Not too runny. Let's start with the sponge. A little bit of product is going a long way, which is nice. My first thought is this looks beautiful on the skin. It is a really smooth, smooth, smooth texture. And it sort of makes my skin look seamless. I really, really like this initially. I would say right off the bat, we're at like a medium coverage, maybe a low medium coverage, but absolutely beautiful, beautiful finish. It is a matte finish, but just really nice finish. It's not a bad first impression to have. I would say this shade I can probably pull off in the summertime. It's a little too dark for me. I did bring it down my neck just a little bit, but it's not that far off, I don't think. Let's try the brush side. I think I'm getting better coverage overall with the brush, but I actually feel like the sponge is a slightly more smooth finish. The brush looks fine, but I think I prefer the sponge. I still have a bunch of product left from that initial 2 squeezes, so I'm going to try to build up this side just a little bit with the sponge and see if we can even things out. I definitely like the sponge application better. Not that the brush is bad. If you like brushes, I think it'll work fine, but I really think this is a smooth, beautiful finish. I feel like my pores are very blurred. I feel like my texture is very blurred. This is not settling into any lines at this point. The only spot that looks maybe a little heavy is in between my eyebrows, but beautiful finish on this foundation. For a matte foundation, it does not look dry at all, and I have a cold right now, and it's not clinging to, oh well, I guess I didn't get coverage there very well. It's not clinging. Let's get a little more in here around my nose. It's not clinging to dry patches. And I have literal flaking going on my nose right now. Ooh, this is just pretty. This is really pretty, you guys. It is 11:25, so that is our check-in time. I'll probably call it 11:30 just so I remember. Let me go put the rest of my face on. I'll be right back. I'm back. So far, so good. Everything blended out fine over this foundation. In a shocking twist from the norm, I did not set my foundation. The finish is so nice. It's a powder matte finish, and I didn't want to risk it looking too dry if I set it with a powder, so I did not set it. Everything still blended out fine over it. It sets down very nicely, and it's really super lightweight feeling, so we're gonna roll with it. So far, so good. Everything blended in. I'm wearing the Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer, which I had no trouble blending in, but the way I can tell that this foundation shade is a little too dark for me, aside from just looking at it, is that Age Rewind Concealer, which is also a little too dark for me, actually seems pretty light compared to this foundation. But I think I'm pulling it off. We'll see. The other things on my face right now, my lip is ColourPop in Stark. I just got this in my BoxyCharm last month. My eyes are Urban Decay Naked Smoky. I'm wearing my favorite plaid red dress that I made, and it's like my punk rock red dress. Always makes me want to do a smoky eye, so I did a smoky eye. And on my cheeks, L'Oreal Glam Bronze as per usual. The blush I'm wearing is the LA Girl in Just Blushing, and I did go in with a little bit of the Laura Geller Gelato Swirl Diamond Dust, which that Gelato Swirl palette sold out so fast in the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty. I was not able to get it, and I'm so sad. Every day I keep looking to see if it's back, and it's not. And yeah, so that is where we're at right now. Check-in time is 11:30 a.m. I will be back in a few hours with a daylight check-in, and then at the end of the night, I will share my final thoughts. Hey guys, daylight check-in here, and we're at about the 6-hour mark. It's about a little after 5:30 right now, and I just got a good look in the mirror, and we have a little bit of Oompa Loompa action going on. I don't know how well you can tell on camera, but this has oxidized orange on me quite a bit, and even though I brought it down my neck, it's kind of almost a patchy orange. I wonder, let's see, let me get my forehead in here. You can kind of tell how that has happened. Otherwise, in terms of how it's holding up over time, it is starting to get pretty heavy and cakey around my mouth. My chin is starting to break up and break down, and so that's not looking so good. Every place else looks okay. It's kind of like what a typical matte foundation does on me. By the end of the day, it's sort of separating along my deeper lines, and I feel like that makes me look older. So that's not super great. I'm getting a tiny bit itchy at this point, so I think it is a somewhat drying formula, but definitely too dark on me and does oxidize a little bit. For short-term wear, my thought right now is really beautiful for short-term wear. I don't know how much longer this is going to hold up though, so I don't know how their claim of up to 24 hours works, because the other thing that I've noticed, can you tell that I'm getting a little dewy? Like I've got a little bit of, now ignore, I've got highlighter on, but I mean forehead, nose, chin, the rest of my face, like my lower cheek, I feel like I'm getting a bit of a sheen. I'm losing the matte quality. I am feeling a little oily, which is unusual. Some matte foundations do that to me. I think it might be a reaction to like an over drying, and then my body goes into overdrive or something with trying to soften things out. Not sure, but I am feeling a little dewy, feeling a little oily. I rarely, if ever, feel oily, and so that's where we're at 6 hours. From a distance, I think it still looks pretty okay, except for the shade mismatch, but I'll be back in a few more, and we will have a final thoughts and a final check-in. Oh, you guys, I have had a minor tragedy. Microphone malfunction, so I'm going to have to do this as a voiceover because I have already taken off my makeup for the evening. I am recording this on the same night, the same day that I filmed this, so this was literally 20 minutes ago when I filmed this. So I took this at 9:25 p.m. It was the 10-hour mark exactly. And overall, how I feel about this foundation, I'm giving it a C+ for long wear. Higher, like say a solid B if you only need to wear it 4 or 5 hours. The problems are, it breaks down pretty quickly. You only get about 5 to 6 hours of solid wear out of it, and then it starts to break down. And if you've got dry skin, it is very drying. My face is very, very itchy. On the bright side, it did not settle into lines, so I think if you have mature skin, you may be able to get away with this. It did settle into my chin lines, but I don't really count that as a line. My smile lines, my forehead lines, no trouble. It did not cake up around my nose, even though I have a really challenging nose time right now. I think the finish looks beautiful in the short term. I think it did oxidize a shade or two and got a bit orange, and that does not work for very fair skin. Do you see on how it's kind of orangish patchy on my forehead? It's just the color change and the shade change just don't work for me. It is just not cute. But overall, I really enjoyed this foundation. I'm going to hang on to it. I'm going to keep it and mix it with some lighter foundations. Of course, I appreciate all of you guys dealing with this voiceover, hanging out, geeking out over makeup with me. I appreciate your time. We're going to call this a C+ overall. And if I find any good combos that really work well with this one, I will let you guys know, because I am going to continue to use it, because as a short-term foundation, I think it's absolutely gorgeous in terms of the finish and the wear. But oh, my face is itchy even as we speak right now. So there you have it, my review of the Catrice HD Liquid Cover Foundation. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give me a thumbs up if you would like more foundation reviews, and leave some comments and tell me what you guys want to see. Take care of each other. Have yourselves an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world. Bye-bye.